guys. I talked last week about doing a straw bale garden, and I had my straw bale pulled out this way, which kind of hid this. This is me starting a lasagna bed. I'm always eager for more planting space, and this allows me to use a lot of my composted greens. It's the same concept as when you're composting. I started off with a piece of cardboard in the bottom, wet it down, then I added some manure and I did my grass clippings, I've done my veggies, I've got carrot tops, and I just keep layering the browns and the greens. Really good to start at this time of year because you're starting to get a lot of waste materials out of your garden that you can recycle. You build it so that it's about 18 inches high. This was about that high, and this is how far down it's gone in the last, say, 2 months. I have all my leftover bean vines in there. I've got some chicken manure, I've got straw, I've got all sorts of things in there. And come the spring, I'm going to add probably 4 inches of good soil on the top, and then I can plant. If you are super eager, a lot of people will just plant right away. There's nothing saying that you can't do it. Just make your soil level deeper, because by the time the roots get down there, the heat from the composting is not going to be too strong for it. It'll just add a little bit of warmth. Side note, the French used to do this. They had so much manure and straw and deciduous leaves. In the winter, they would dig a pit that would be about 3 feet deep. And it would always be about 18 inches larger than the glass house that they were going to put on top of it. And they would turn the leaves and the manure, and they would turn it about 4 times just to make sure that it was really, really well mixed. Then they'd fill that pit with it, and they would add about 8 inches of topsoil to it. And then they would put on trays or seedlings and transplants on top of that and cover it with the glass house. The composted manure in there would create enough heat that these guys had market gardens in the middle of the winter, and it was absolutely wonderful. They found that if they just did the straw and manure, that they got less heat, but it lasted longer. So with the leaves and manure, they got about 8 weeks worth of heat, and with the straw, it just went a little bit longer. When they were finished with it in the spring, they simply dug out those pits of all that lovely compost and threw it in the fields where they did other kinds of vegetable gardening. So I thought that was just kind of a neat little side note, and that's what you can do in your garden too.